Now let's understand how the parameters are passed from the API calls. By this time, though you are a beginner developer and you are developing the SolidWorks programs for productivity, you must be a little bit clear about how your code works. And when your code is working, the code is working through several parameters that we pass through the API calls. If the API call is satisfied, then and then only that API action works successfully inside SolidWorks. Let's see what I mean by this. So once we are here at this particular line, for example, part dot extension dot select by ID2, and you see a parenthesis. Within the parenthesis, there are several parameters. For example, front plane, then plane as a type, then 0, 0, 0, false. And there are several parameters, they are coming together, and there is a sequence defined for these parameters to use. Now, if you go here, create line. So this is another API call where there are several parameters together used. All of the parameters here are numbers. Then here select by ID. Instead of front plane here it is sketch 1 and it is sketch type. Otherwise all the parameters are more or less the same. But for here again for feature extrude thin 2, which is another API call, which actually creating the thin extrude feature in a model. This has got several parameters. So passing these parameters is actually very important or very is actually key. So passing these parameters in a correct manner is very very important. And API calls, all the different API calls in SolidWorks are defined to accept to work on the certain parameters in a particular sequence. We cannot change that sequence. We cannot alter that sequence. Even we cannot change the type of parameter that we are going to use into that parenthesis. So passing the parameters is a very important part in understanding and using API calls. Let's see what I mean by this. Let's get here. I'm into API help. Let me search here if I get something, select sketch. I will try to find out a very simple code. Let me see this. Create derived or underived sketch example. So we are not really interested into what exactly this code example do. We are more interested into understanding how the parameters are used into a API call. So this is a very simple example, though there is no lot of parameters or the API calls where there are several parameters used together. So let me find out another example. I will again try to find the C sharp example only. Yeah, this is fine. So I will use this code. I will copy it and I will take this into Visual Studio. As you know, I already have a Visual Studio uh, and I need to first create a project using class library DLL template. And after that, I have to assign some references and then I am good to go, good to write my code. Now I have written some code here. Now you see there are some errors. So these red lines indicate some errors, but that I will ignore for now. Let's see how passing parameter works. Now, as we are into Visual Studio and SolidWorks libraries are imported, the IntelliSense works based on the imported DLL in Visual Studio. So, what you see, this extra information that is hovering after I put my cursor on select by ID2, this tells me the information about select by ID2 API call. So you could see that this API call is a part of iModel doc extension, and this is of bool type. You can see the bool is written just in the beginning. Bool means it is either going to be true or false. So that's why we have this bool status is equal to SW model doc extension dot select by ID2 because it is a bool type of variable. It will either return true or false. Then what you see in this IntelliSense, after select by ID, it is saying that string. It's the first parameter, the string, name of the object in this case. What we are doing is we are selecting an object by its ID. So here we need the name. So sketch one is a name. Another parameter is also string, which is of type. That's why we have this sketch written in double quote here. If you see the recorded macro example, in that case, we have written plain because here we need to write a type of the object. Then these first two are the string parameters. Then there are three double parameters. The type of the parameter is double x, y, and z. So here these are x, y, z coordinates. And then after that, bool append. Append means if there is any selection already done, and on that selection I want to select another object. So that's why this bool append parameter is here. It will be true if I want to append, and it will be false if I do not want to append. So that's why it is false here. And then integer mark, you see that this is the integer mark. I don't know what exactly is this. Then there is a call out, which is again null. And then there is another integer, which is select option. Let's see if I get something when I select this. Okay. It displays something, but ignore it for now. Yeah. So basically, this is how this IntelliSense gives us more parameter about the more information about the parameters that we pass inside the parenthesis in any API call. Similar to this is another API call, sketch box select. This is again part of iModel doc extension. This is again a Boolean type, which will either return true or false. And you can see the set of parameters, the number of parameters are different, the sequence of the parameter is different, and the types of parameters are different. So every API call is different, and the set of parameters that it requires is different. Again, the sequence is different. Again, the type is different. So this is how it works, and this is how these parameters are important. The main thing to know or to understand here is that passing parameters is really really important. We cannot change the sequence, we cannot change the type, we have to exactly follow the way it is given. We'll understand about more about these parameters passing through the API help. As we go ahead and as we discuss more and more examples, we'll learn about these parameters in detail.